Good morning, everybody. I'm driving to Venice in the 190E. Going to visit a customer this morning. But anyway, that's not why I'm making this video. But just in case anybody wonders what I do when I'm going to visit customers, I get up really early and I drive and see them so I can assess their car, make sure that I get a good read on everything beforehand. So after my MB Market video, one of the owners of MB Market, Blakely, actually reached out to me, and so I was surprised that they reached out quickly, but I think this is probably a good thing for both of us. And so this was a good thing because he and I got a chance to talk a little bit about what had happened. So if you guys recall, my main complaint about MB Market was not their platform and not their level of integrity. It was the communication issue. And so we sort of resolved the communication issue through this conversation in a way that I felt was constructive and useful. And so the first resolution was that I had been upset because I felt like they had not gotten back to me about an idea that I had pitched to them. And so, they acknowledge this. I think it's sometimes that the best acknowledgement of a mistake you can make, the best way to deal with the mistake is just to acknowledge it, say you're sorry, and move on. I'm not feeling that great today either, but I do not have COVID. I'm good. I don't know. I'm still suffering from these lingering cold and flu symptoms I had about 2 weeks ago. Anyway, the mistake wasn't really an irreconcilable one either. And oftentimes when I make a mistake, I'm more than happy to admit it. I mean, I spend a good chunk of my time doing warranty jobs. I shouldn't say that, not a good chunk, but I spend as much time as I need to doing warranty jobs and saying, you know what, maybe this could have been better. Maybe I overlooked this little tiny detail or whatever, and it made the system not work as well. I'll just admit to my mistake. And so I think that it was noble of Blakely to take ownership of the mistake that he made, or that MB Market made, not he so much. And in fact, he wasn't the one that had made the statement to me, but it's a company, so the fact that he spoke on behalf of the company and with such humility was moving to me. And so his humility overall was I basically thought, wow, after talking to Blakely, I probably need to be a little bit more humble in my approach to dealing with some of these problems. So Blakely, if you're watching, thank you. I appreciate it, and I think that we could all probably be more like you in our conflict resolution. Ben, one of the other owners of MB Market, did send me a written apology, which was more than what I expected. And so at the end of the day, what I said was that I was just looking for a place. I wanted to develop a relationship with them because I was looking for a safe place for my customers to be able to market their cars if they wanted to sell them. We don't get a lot of car sales from Pierre Hidari's cars that we've sorted out. It's rare. It's not a common thing. But when a customer does sell a car, they usually have a reason to. They want another car. They might want to sell their, 107 and get a 113, or they might want to sell their 126 and get a 107, or they might be aging out of a car, or they might have a change of life circumstance, like moving and losing garage space or something. When I see cars that are for sale on Craigslist or Facebook, and they're otherwise nice cars, I think to myself, man, what are these people going to do if they get scammed to death? And so when I saw MB Market, I said, this looks like a great platform in case I have a customer that needs to market a car. And so that leads me to the other 1, 2, 3 parts of a resolution. I had erred probably with the second part by referring a customer to them that in the past had proven to be difficult to deal with. I was hoping that because he was just interested in selling his car, everything would go better than it did. But again, you know, the platform wasn't the issue. It was more the customer and his disagreeable nature. So because of this customer putting them through the ringer, it probably did not help when I referred the other two customers to them. But this specific customer isn't even somebody I deal with anymore, because soon after this
in 10 miles, take exit 129 onto State Road 70 toward Okeechobee.
You know, soon after this event, this customer and I had to sever our relationship for similar reasons. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but I had lost quite a bit of money doing work on this guy's car. And at the end of the day, I was just happy to see him go. I didn't want to collect on some of those expenses, because I just knew that he was going to rake me over the coals anytime any little thing went wrong, and I just wanted him out of my life. So there we go. It was a rough month. The next guy that I referred had a really nice car, but he did not want to pay to get photos taken. Now, getting photos taken is something you have to do to sell a car, and they didn't have a photographer in the Phoenix area, and there was no way that anybody from the staff could have traveled out there. But, you know, I think the rule of thumb here is if you're working with a platform where you're getting a lot of help, maybe you should be a little flexible, you know. Maybe you shouldn't just insist that they rub your feet and spoon feed you. That's just what I think. Now, the last item that we discussed was Unique Cars of Palm Beach. And if you don't know about Unique Cars of Palm Beach, Freddie has some nice SLs for sale. He really does. So if you want to, you know, absolutely cosmetically perfect, which is the key word here, 560 SL or similar Mercedes, you're probably going to find one at Unique Cars of Palm Beach. And you know, Freddie really has an eye for a nice car. Knows how to spot them. He actually has a car that went live on on MB Market earlier this week, which made me very happy to hear. On top of that, Sebastian, one of my customers who sold a CLK55 through them, actually sold the car for a healthy price, and when the buyer didn't follow through, MB Market stepped in and resolved the issue and made sure that the buyer followed through with the purchase. So kind of a big deal, you know, and I do owe them credit for this, because not a lot of platforms would give them that kind of, would give their customer that kind of attention. You know, and when you make a sale like this, it is a binding contract. So at the end of the day, what I really wanted, like the main thing I wanted, was I wanted to be able to work with them so that, again, my customers had a sales outlet for their cars where I knew where they would get fair and reasonable market coverage without being forced to deal with the bureaucracy of Bring a Trailer, the scammers at Craigslist and Facebook. But anyway, again, thank you, Ben Blakely and Ryan, for, I guess, not getting so angry at me, you know, for my public criticism of your platform. I'm sorry. I don't think that my opinion was well researched, and it was nice to be able to resolve things without things getting messy. And if you guys are wondering about whether or not you should sell a car through MB Market, do it. I think it's a good idea. All right. Have a great day, everyone.